In this bulletin, the cost of inkjet inks exposed on public television. Russian authorities seize truckloads of fake cartridges in Moscow. And the impact of cloned printer cartridges is the subject of new research study.
From across the planet, Recycling Times keeps you in touch with the latest computer printing news.
Hello, I'm David Gibbons and here is the news. Britons are being reminded they are paying more for inkjet ink cartridges than ever before. BBC TV's Watchdog show, which champions consumer rights and helps expose bad business, aired a segment on the rising prices of inkjet cartridges in comparison to their shrinking size. According to Watchdog, HP's cartridge, which has 5 millilitres of ink, costs £12 or $18 US.
For example, if you've got an HP 301 cartridge, which was one of their newer ones, that has 5 mils of ink in it, costs £12. If you add that up, it would mean that 1 litre of ink would cost you £2,400.
That means consumers are paying £2,400 or $3,735 US for just 1 litre. Or putting it another way, 1 litre of ink costs the same as 1,800 litres of gasoline or 68 bottles of premium whiskey. Raids on businesses in Moscow have yielded thousands of fake printer cartridges. According to Russian radio, 4,500 counterfeit HP cartridges were seized in just one raid. The goods were in trucks in second-hand original packaging, ready for sale. In a similar raid in February, 2,500 counterfeit HP branded cartridges were found then. Russia used to have one of the lowest levels of counterfeit cartridges in the European, Middle Eastern and African region. But Moscow customs officers say they are committed to more anti-counterfeiting activities in the region. The impact of newly made aftermarket printer cartridges, or clones, sold into Europe and North America will be the subject of a new study. Research group InfoTrends say they will look at the impact of clones on the sale of new and remanufactured cartridges in these regions. They will also assess if sellers of the products are aware of the risks associated with cloned cartridges. Many clone cartridges are often sold for less than OEM and even remanufactured cartridge prices. InfoTrends will share the results of this study with Recycling Times readers later in the year. In the meanwhile, a general exclusion order may very well come into effect in the United States in the next few weeks. This is expected to see a significant decrease in the number of clone cartridges being shipped into the country for resale. MSE's Luke Goldberg is online. Luke, this General Exclusion Order, or GEO, may very well help the US market control these kinds of products entering the country. But what are the implications for other regions, such as Europe?
Well, the GEO certainly should be a positive thing for U.S. manufacturing and the remanufacturing industry in the United States. The byproduct of that, though, on the negative side, is that the manufacturers that cannot ship their product into the United States, which represents approximately a third of the global volume, will have to find homes for this product elsewhere. What we traditionally see is that the products will be dumped in other countries where patents are not protected, and they could even affect countries such as parts of Western Europe, but certainly Eastern Europe, parts of Latin America. The bottom line is that the manufacturers will have to find a home for these products. So what's beneficial for the United States could very well be detrimental for many other parts of the world where the OEMs are not exerting their patent rights.
Thanks, Luke Goldberg. In encouraging news comes the prediction the global market for industrial inkjet printing will more than treble to $7.4 billion by 2017. BCC Research sees the market booming by more than 30% every year for both hardware as well as consumables. Their report also shows inkjet printing is beginning to impact other types of applications such as food, flavourings, fragrances and chemicals. The Asia Pacific region is the largest geographical market for industrial inkjet technologies. Europe and North America are the second and third largest markets respectively, both with about 20% of the market each in 2012. And in brief, HP is partnering with the Laverne Group to capture empty ink printer cartridges for recycling in Montreal. The labels and circuitry are removed, the metal goes to a smelter, while the plastic shells are washed and shredded. HP is still working on how to salvage the ink and foam, which are currently being trashed. The number of printers grew in India by 5.4% in the fourth quarter of 2012, according to Gartner Research. HP is number one with 54% of the market, followed by Canon, Samsung and Epson. Kodak Eastman expects to emerge from Chapter 11 restructuring, avoiding bankruptcy in the second half of this year. This follows their successful filing of the required documents to the courts and creditors on time at the end of April. Ricoh has been named market leader by research group IDC for the high-speed inkjet continuous feed market. And the Remax Asia Expo has been listed by the Chinese government as a global leader in the printing consumables industry. The coveted list is published once a year and lists 115 key events which hold significant influence. The expo, which attracts 10,000 visitors from around the world, will be held again in October 2013 in Zhuhai, China. And you can read more in this month's New Look News and Views magazine with OCP Inc.'s Horst Edelmeier on the cover. Well, those were the biggest stories in printer and consumable news this week. See you again next week. I'm David Gibbons.